Okay, let's try this again. This is Chaotic JP. It's been a few years since I did one of these, but I feel the need to do one right now as I'm living in a town, 1,400 people population. It's beautiful here, don't get me wrong, it's awesome. And the people are, on the surface, great. But for people like me who are looking for a little deeper connection with the human race, and by deeper, I mean people who have the bravery and courage to be honest and truthful about how they feel about things, to share them with you, to share them with each other, talk. If I've done something to upset you, tell me. If you've done something to upset me, I'll tell you. I mean, talk. Let's talk. If I come across a person that once was friendly and nice and then suddenly is very aloof and I've done nothing or had no interaction with them from the time where they were nice to the time where they're aloof and not nice, then obviously I didn't do anything to you. We haven't seen each other. So it's possible that somebody in our circle or common person in our circle and I may have had a discussion and it got relayed to you in a way that you think that I was mean or something. Well, tell me. Talk to me. Say, yo, Jeff, man, I can't, you were talking to so-and-so and she told me you said this and it really offended me. I found it to be rude and mean and disrespectful. Then that gives me an opportunity to talk to you about where I was coming from, because where I'm coming from is from the brave and courageous. And the brave and courageous, the warrior, basically, the warrior. The one who holds themselves accountable for their own feelings, their own state of mind, instead of blaming other things, people, places. So, as I'm sharing my brave and courageous self with somebody, and they're receiving me from their cowardly self, they're going to replay that whole situation from the coward's perspective instead of the brave and courageous perspective. And it's going to sound shitty. And yeah, I would understand that you would think I'm an asshole, but at least give me a shot here to explain and talk. There's so many people here in this town that I'm searching for that deeper connection with the human race. And unfortunately, I can't go deep with these cowards. It's sad. It really is sad. And it's too often where you want to talk about something and people will be like changing the subject, don't want to talk about it, shut you up, change the topic. It's just really quite sad. And then what it does is it perpetuates the negativity, because the negativity never gets dealt with. So the laziness in the moment perpetuates into the future, and then the same fucking problems come up over and over and over and over again. And then it gets too difficult to talk to a guy like me because I want things resolved and let's discuss things. And the coward doesn't want to do that. So then they just completely cut off all communication in the name of it's too difficult to communicate with me. No. It's easy to communicate with me if you're truthful and honest and you're brave and courageous. So instead of looking at their lack of bravery and truth and honesty and courage, they just say it's too difficult. I'm too difficult to communicate with. How convenient for you. So very convenient. Embers flying from a fire. There's a bunch near the fire, but there's very few flying high. And I remember in my surfing days, somebody would come to a campfire and we would be talking about surfing, and we're talking about 8 to 10 foot wave surfing, and this person comes in and tries to communicate with us, and you can tell that they've never surfed 8 to 10 foot waves just by the way that they're relating to the story, how they're telling the story, the lack of detail. And they're easily caught and easily seen that they're just they're lying, basically. And it's the same thing in the spiritual realm. A lot of people claim to be these spiritual creatrix, is one of the words that's here in town. I'm a creatrix. Well, first off, if you have to self-proclaim that you're a creatrix, then you're not. Other people would say that you're the creatrix for you. I mean, whether you're a Christian or not, Jesus never claimed to be the king. Other people did. Other people claimed that he was a healer. He never said he was. Other people say, oh my God, he's a healer. Self-proclamation is bogus. So if you're self-proclaiming that you're some type of guru or some type of shaman is the new word. Yeah, shaman. Yeah, I'm a shaman. No, you're not. Shamans don't say that they're shamans. There's no need. There's no need to voice it. It's seen. It's obvious. So in this town, it's pretty crazy, actually. I mean, for a town that claims to be more conscious than the average folk, they're spiritually and emotionally lazy, which would mean that they're not more conscious than the average folk. Anyway, so unfortunately for me, because once you have seen something or learned something or remembered something, you can't unremember it unless you get knocked on the head and get some amnesia going or something like that. So unfortunately for me, my standards for myself are extremely high. Therefore, the energy that is allowed into my circle is also I have a high demand. Not for myself. There's no high demand for me, trust me. I demand high character. I demand high character for those people to be into my inner circle. And unfortunately, not many people have this high character. And this is not a judgment. This is just an observation. If you are unable to share with me how you feel, you're not in my circle. Sorry. If you're going to say, oh, I just don't want to hurt somebody's feelings, then you haven't realized yet that we're all responsible for our own feelings. And when you say that you don't want to hurt somebody else's feelings by being honest, so you'd rather lie to somebody and say that you're doing that out of the sake for them because you don't want to hurt their feelings. Well, isn't lying to somebody hurting somebody's feelings immediately? So therefore, aren't you just being a coward when you say that you don't want to share your feelings with somebody, when you say that you don't want to hurt their feelings? We're responsible for our own feelings, people. What you have to say to me, it's up to me and how I receive it. I can't control what you say, do, think. I can't control any of those things. I can only control how I relate to it, how I respond to it, how I react to it. These are the things that would reveal who I am. Therefore, your lack of or inability to do those things reveals how you are, not me. When is it? I remember when I was in high school, this band called Rush. You may have heard of them. Neil Peart's a pretty cool drummer. Geddy Lee's pretty sick. I don't know the other guy's name. I'm not that big of a fan, but they came out with this album back in my day, CD, album, whatever. I guess you stream the shit now. But anyway, the album was called Moving Pictures. And I could never really quite understand what the hell he was talking about. And then suddenly one day it hit me. Us humans are moving pictures. We are moving pictures. Basically, what that means is we're art created by a creator. Some creator created us. Let's call him the artist, and we're his art. And one day it occurred to me when I was in Tulsa, Oklahoma, when I became friends with this guy named Chris Mantle. Really good artist in Tulsa, by the way. You should check him out. One day I looked at one of his paintings and I said, hey man, I know what you're saying in this painting. And he kind of chuckled at me. Oh yeah, really, Jeff? What am I saying in this picture? And then when I was put on the spot, I realized at that moment that whatever came out of my mouth wasn't going to reveal him. Whatever came out of my mouth was revealing myself to him. And I suddenly felt a little uncomfortable with that. Was our relationship, our friendship to that stage where I was going to share some intimate thoughts about myself with him? And then it hit me, I'm like, wait a minute, how I interpret art reveals myself to myself. That's the beauty in art. That's what makes art so valuable. It's beautiful. I'm not saying, I don't know how much money you want to spend on some art, but it is valuable because how we interpret it reveals ourselves to ourselves. I am a piece of art made by an artist that people call God, spirit, universe, whatever you call it. Doesn't matter to me. It's like ice cream. 32 flavors of ice cream, but it's all ice cream. I don't care what name you give it. It's still a creator, the thing that designed all this, whatever. I don't know what you're going to call it. I have no clue. But whatever it is, I'm a product of that. And how you interpret me reveals you. It doesn't reveal me. And I am an open book. With the love of the creator giving me bravery and courage to express myself and be comfortable in my own skin, I'm not holding anything back. I'm uncensored. I don't censor myself. There's no need. I'm not out to hurt anyone. So there's no need for me to be censored. I share what's on my mind when it's on my mind. And how you handle me reveals you. It doesn't reveal me. And if you're having a hard time handling me, or if you're interpreting my whatever you see from afar in a negative way, that's your own negativity. Whether your observations are aligning with my actions or not, it's still revealing you, not me. Anyway, this town has really lost its way in that sense. So anyway, much love, everybody. Peace.